Hello, I'm Renee Wright. This is The Right Side. I am a relationship coach and I help people work through all aspects of their relationships. Whether you're just meeting and you're in the courtship phase, whether you're engaged and you're in the marriage phase, or the maintenance. So I have activities and coaching available to help you grow to the next stage and then maintain in a happy, healthy relationship. So this is the video. This is video number 2 in a 10-part series. So the first one, so the first three are going to be in courtship, when you're just getting to know each other, you're growing, and you want it to advance to marriage, potentially, hopefully, because I love marriage and I'm all about getting married, being married, staying married, and being happy in the situation. So today we're going to talk about courtship, but we're going to talk about the dating aspect of courtship. When you've already decided you liked each other enough to go forward. So you want to get more personal with them. Maybe you want to introduce them to your family and friends, because I suggest in the beginning you don't introduce them to your friends, not your friends, your family, not even your pet, because that can skew how you feel about this person. So just get to know the person by yourself and just see if you guys are connecting and vibing on a good level. So now you've done all that, you've gotten through the meeting, now we're in dating. So in the dating phase, things get a little more, hopefully, personal and a little more real. So in this phase of the relationship growth, I suggest that you express your feelings politely. You know, there's always going to be things that people do that you're not going to like. That's normal. That's going to happen throughout your marriage. You could be married 50, 70 years. There still could be a little aggravating trait that could still occur. So I'm reminded of this aspect of dating because I have someone who I'm working with, actually more than one person, but I have the person that I'm working with in my mind right now frequently tells me how angry, how mad I am at him. Oh, I'm so mad at him. I'm mad at him. And I said, well, why are you mad? Well, he didn't call me today. And I said, oh, well, you know what? I could feel that some, but have y'all talked about it? Well, he should know he should call me. And that's how we feel about a lot of things that people should know. But remember, we are also conditioned by other relationships. This may be a person who is unfortunately conditioned to not call too much, not call unless you have something to talk about. So if he's been in enough relationships where calling is aggravating, then maybe he's only going to call when he has something absolutely to say. A fact, I'm running late. I'm calling because of this. They may not be that person to call to say, hey, how you doing, what you doing, and just hang on the line. Maybe they are, maybe they're not. But until you have a conversation about it, you won't know. So what you do is, instead of being so pissed, so angry, letting yourself go there, now me, if I was your friend, you're telling me that you're so mad, so now I'm mad at him too. So now I'm going to endorse your anger at him. But instead, if you recognize what that feeling is, and then you can have a discussion with him. You're not so mad, maybe you're hurt, maybe you're worried. So the conversation you have with him is, you know, when I don't hear from you for a day, it makes me worry. It makes me worried about you. It makes me concerned. Or I just like talking to you every day. So can we have some sort of agreement where we will at least reach out to each other a day just to check on each other? That's not an unreasonable request. And when it's phrased in a concerned way, a supportive way of the relationship, then it's more likely to be adhered to. And then if you have that conversation and you say, I think we should talk at least once a day, reasonably, if you miss a day, or you miss calling, or they miss calling, at least you know that there was an expectation that you missed. So you can have the discussion later. Oh, I know I didn't call you yesterday. This is what happened. Whether you apologize or not, it doesn't matter how busy you got. It doesn't matter if your phone fell in the toilet. It doesn't matter. Somebody had an expectation of you. You had an agreement. So when for whatever reason you couldn't honor the agreement, let's talk about it. My bad. I'm sorry. I'll hold my phone tighter so it doesn't fall in the toilet next time. And then we go from there. If it's a continuous thing, then you talk about that. Darling, are you too busy to talk during the day? Can we text? Somehow I need to feel connected to you in the day. So can we figure out what that is? We'll work with your schedule. My schedule is crazy. I can tell you now, my schedule is so sick. But I find a moment. I find a moment to take out, just if even if it's on the toilet bowl. I take a moment to at least check. I'll say this. I check on my mom. You know, I find a moment, even if I'll send a text. I'll find a moment. So we're never too busy for the things that we want to do. We find a way, we make a way. The thing is to prioritize it. And then you have that conversation about, I don't feel like I am a priority when I don't talk to you all day. Especially if, you know, we agreed on it. And if it's continued, it's all in a conversation. And I know that sounds like rambling, but I assure you, I had so many people come back and so they're more pleased with the outcome. Because if you tell somebody, I'm so mad at you about this, now they're in defense mode, you know, and they're not going to be as willing to care about your feelings and take care of your feelings. I like it when you stop. And I like it when you stop and bring dinner home. I really appreciate that. On the days you don't, oh, I miss when you don't. It's just about being kind and letting your feelings be known without attacking the other person. And sometimes it's not going to be nice, but sandwich it in. Hey, when you called me for those 5 days in a row, that meant a lot. Oh, but when you didn't call me, I was worried. So let's get back on track. It sounds so superficial, but it is something that works. When people are putting on the defense, they're going to come out with an offense, and no, your goal is not going to be met. And your goal is to have more conversations with each other. Also in dating, I strongly suggest, please, 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 don't compare anybody to anybody. Don't compare somebody to your daddy, to your ex, to your cousin. Just don't do the comparison. If there's a quality about this person that you like, just say you like it. Oh, I like it when you smoke cigars. Cigars give me a nice warm feeling. Ah, I like it when you... Because when that happens, I feel great. Resist comparisons. Resist it. Especially in the dating phase. Just let them know that what they're doing for you is enough just because they're doing it for you, and that's it. Oh, when you know, you get it? Resist the comparisons. And I know that it's somebody who you probably really, really love. Like, I love my grandfather. He's not with us anymore, but I love him. And if somebody smoked the pipe, I would certainly start thinking about my grandfather. But I'm not going to talk about him yet. All I'm going to say is, oh, I love the smell of pipes. It gives me a good feeling when I smell the smoke or the cigar. That just gives me a good feeling. And it kind of brings me back to a happier time in my life. Now we don't have to, if it works for you, great. I strongly suggest that you don't, because that person you compare them to, all of a sudden in another situation, when they fall short, then it's, oh, so I'm not like your grandfather anymore. So just keep it on the level of how you make me feel, not how somebody else made me feel. Oh, this is how you make me feel. I like it when you hold my hand. It makes me feel, okay? That is dating. And then the last one that I want to suggest is about vulnerability. Be vulnerable. Don't be so guarded. Don't be a trap door where everything fell out. But be vulnerable. Talk about something that affects you in some sort of way. When you see birds, whatever, when you see birds singing, yeah, it gives you a sad moment, reminding you when something happened in your life. That's not comparing the person to anything. That's connecting something that you're seeing to something that happened that gave you an emotion, that gave you a feeling, and you can share that. You don't have to be so tough. You don't have to be strong all the time. You can be vulnerable once you feel it's appropriate, but don't keep yourself so guarded where they don't know how you feel, what affects you. If you have a heart, do you have a soul? Do you ever feel, just be vulnerable when vulnerability is there. Don't talk yourself out of it. That's not to say, bawl out crying, but you might not be able to help that either. But be vulnerable when you sense something that is affecting you in a way, because that's letting you in. And I would imagine that you would want someone to share that kind of experience with you, So again, this is the dating. This is the second of the series. This is dating. The first one was when you were first meeting, and this is dating. And I suggest that you express your feelings, resist making comparisons, and be vulnerable about something that gives you a feeling of something. You don't have to be tough. You don't have to be the strongest woman on the block. Just be soft, be gentle, and just be open. You know, I don't know. This is advice that I give people because for most of my relationships, was not soft or gentle or anything. I was going to meet you word for word, and I was going to win, and I was going to show my toughness, and I was going to carry, as many grocery bags as you could carry, and I was, it didn't feel like it was competition, but I learned later on in life that it felt like competition. And had I known then, we could have had the discussion, and we could have just seen, why do you see it as competition? Maybe we need to deal with that. Or maybe, why do I have, So a lot of this stuff comes from conditioning of other relationships. And we have to be wary of that. What conditioned us to have this fear or this concern or this attitude or this thing or these thoughts or all of this stuff? Like, what was conditioning? It's not always coming from across the table. Sometimes it's coming from inside of you, and it's just being triggered and it's coming out. So I hope you stay tuned with the series. We have one more video on courtship, and the video on courtship is going to be whether or not you should repair or retreat. Like, do you abandon ship, or are there things in there worth repairing? Because sometimes when we're in the dating mode, we think, I'm not here to fix anybody, but it's not the somebody you're fixing. It's the relationship that you're putting effort into. So when you walk away from the relationship, you've done everything possible. Okay, so again, we'll see you next Thursday. I will post these every Thursday for the next 10 weeks. If you have any questions, concern, you disagree, if I'm full of baloney, all that kind of stuff, please put it in the bottom and we can have a conversation about it. In the 9th and 10th video, it's very possible we're going to have a live conversation where you can ask questions, you can challenge my opinion, you can tell me your thoughts or what worked for you, what didn't work for you. Just keep working through. If you're still in courtship, watch Marriage and Maintenance. If you're in maintenance, watch Courtship, because sometimes we need to go back to the beginning and start again. So with all that being said, I'm Renee Wright. This is The Right Side, and thank you for watching. We'll see you next Thursday.